to the Driven Mad channel. So, in today's video, we're going to be talking about, can you call the C8 an actual supercar? Because I feel like it's an interesting conversation. Now, if you're not familiar with what a supercar is, think Lamborghini, Ferrari, McLaren, things of that nature. Because I feel like there are some arguments that can be made for both sides, yes and no. So today that's kind of what we're going to talk about, and yeah, let's just go ahead and get started into one of the first things that you can argue that it is a supercar. All right, so the first thing I think we should talk about when we talk about can you call it a supercar is the main thing about supercars. At first, the first thing people notice is the way it looks. I think personally the C8 Corvette definitely has that supercar look to it, right? It's got the huge side intakes on the side of the car for the engine to suck in all the air, just like every other supercar ever basically has. It's got the glass engine cover with vents coming out of it to where you can see that it's that mid-engine layout. It's angular, it's aggressive looking. You may not think it's pretty, but it looks like a supercar. It has that supercar presence to it. Now, other stuff to kind of back that up is almost anytime I park it anywhere, people come up to me and ask me what type of McLaren that is, what Lamborghini is that, why'd you drive your Ferrari here, like, but for most people, it looks very supercar, you know, so, and then even on the interior, like the seats themselves, if you take a look at the seats, 6 years ago, if you had said, hey, what car is this seat from? I would have looked at it and been like, that's definitely a Ferrari. But then but it's not, it's in a regular Corvette. So I think looks-wise, it definitely has that supercar presence to it, the shape, the angles, the layout of the car, it's the right size, and people stare at it, right? That's part of what supercars do, is people just look at them because they're just usually very different from everything else. You know, it's not a Toyota Corolla. So I think looks-wise, inside and out, it definitely feels and looks supercar. Now let's move on to the next topic. So you can't talk about the C8 Corvette being a supercar without mentioning some type of performance metric. So obviously I'm talking about 0 to 60 times with launch control. So we're going to take a stop here and show you guys what I mean. And here we go. Okay, so just to give you guys an idea, I didn't hook up very well, and this car just did 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. Now, Chevrolet claims it'll do 0 to 60 in 2.8. I've seen that done, but you guys got to keep in mind that depending on the surface and how much grip it gets, because it's been sprinkling a little bit while I've been filming this, but still 3.5 seconds to 60. That is supercar level of 0 to 60 times. I mean, look up almost any 0 to 60 claim from a manufacturer and you will find the Lamborghini for the Huracan Evo rear-wheel drive claims like 3.3. So this is basically in the ballpark, and I bet if I do it again, I'll get it even lower. So the 0 to 60 times, you can argue and say it almost is a supercar because of how quickly it will do that. So we'll do it again. So here we go. Right, foot on the brake. Oh, jeez. So that right there was 3.2 seconds. So that's technically faster than what Lamborghini claims their Huracan Evo rear-wheel drive will do. So, you know, again, it just kind of depends. I'm pulling over here for a sec. But 0 to 60 wise, it's hard to argue with that. 3.2 seconds. I just knocked off 0.3 of a second just by hitting a different patch of concrete. So, again, guys, I think acceleration wise, 0 to 60, with the engine where it is, the transmission, it is definitely supercar levels of performance, 0 to 60 wise. Now, we'll get into the other performance metrics on whether or not it's still a supercar later, but now let's kind of talk about the next thing. All right, so now kind of one of the last things that I want to bring up here is typically when you think of a supercar, you think of exotic materials being used, which this car does use. On the interior, you've got carbon fiber, you've got real metal, you know, aluminum paddle shifters. There's carbon fiber in the engine bay. There's carbon fiber on this roof panel right here. There is a use of exotic materials. And then when you think of, you know, most supercars use dual clutch transmissions, this uses a dual clutch transmission. So you can kind of make that with the components, you can kind of make the argument that it is, the guy was just staring at the car hardcore. You can kind of make the argument that, hey, maybe it is a supercar. But there's a few things why I think it isn't considered one, and that's what we're going to jump into next. All right, so unfortunately my GoPro cut off at this particular part of the video for some reason. But what I was going to talk about is the engine. Most supercars are known for being, you know, fairly lively, aggressive, having very loud engines, good exhaust notes throughout the entire rev range. And the Corvette is definitely a little bit lackluster in that area. If you guys watch my video comparing it to my 1LE Camaro, you guys will know that the Camaro is much louder inside and out. Now, that was done to, I'm sure, accommodate for the traditional Corvette customer who, you know, the retired guy who doesn't want a super loud in-your-face car. But given the appearance of the car, you would expect it to be a bit more aggressive and get a bit more emotion from the car. And I'm actually going to go ahead and show you guys a clip comparing a Lamborghini Huracan, where the exhaust is about 4 feet away from the camera, and the camera was also in a waterproof case, which didn't help the sound quality, compared to my Corvette with the GoPro about 6 inches away from the exhaust and not in any case whatsoever. So let's go ahead and take a listen. So as you guys can see, the Lamborghini is definitely a more exciting drivetrain in terms of sound and just revving all the way to basically 9,000 RPM. And then the other thing that I kind of wanted to mention is after 60, like 0 to 60, the Corvette is on par with some supercars. But after that, a 458 or a Huracan, a McLaren 570S would destroy the car. So after 60, you know, going from, say, let's say 60 up to about 150 or so, those cars are going to be way faster. The majority of them are lighter, more powerful, they rev higher. So just those things alone, I feel like, again, 0 to 60 wise, the performance is awesome. And it's, trust me, it's still fast after that. But compared to those cars, that's where the supercar level of performance kind of drops off, is the after 60 miles an hour onward. That's where those cars are in a different league for sure. Now, one of the other things that supercars have, which I feel like a lot of people like to gloss over because, I don't know, it makes them feel uncomfortable or something, but supercars are exclusive. They're expensive, right? They're expensive for a lot of different reasons, and one of them is exclusivity, right? It makes you feel more special in your car when you don't see 15 other of them driving down the road. It's just what it is. But that is a big part of owning a supercar, is how it makes you feel and how it's special, because not 80,000 other people have them. On social media, sure, but in real life, not a lot of people drive Lamborghinis around. But with that being said, exclusivity is a big part of owning a supercar. Hold on. Sorry guys, I got distracted. Because this is a fantastic turn. Whoa! Woo! Okay, anyways, so in this car, currently at this exact time of this video, is still exclusive. Just because I was able to get mine fairly early. The plant isn't producing them as fast as they normally would, but eventually, because of the price point of this car and the performance value for the money, these will be everywhere. They're going to be all over the place, and which is great for Chevrolet and great for the Corvette, but then it loses some of that exclusivity. Everybody and their brother is going to have one of these, but it is something to consider that sometimes you buy a car because you don't want to have the same car that everybody else has, right? That's why people modify cars and put their own taste on them, right? And buy them in a different color than maybe you would buy them, because they want it to feel like it's theirs and different. So that's one thing that I think this car at the moment has, but eventually it won't have. After giving it another 6 months to a year, it won't have that. So ultimately, do I think it is a true to the bone supercar? No. Does it have certain parts of it that are 100%? But I don't think I would sit here and call it a supercar. It is a sports car that just has supercar looks, and the 0 to 60 times can be supercar levels. But anyways, guys, I hope you found the video enjoyable. I hope you liked it. If you did, make sure to give it a like and subscribe for more videos. And now I know for some of you guys that are only subscribed to my channel for the Jeep stuff, I am working on the next installment of the Moab trip. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, guys, I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.